Viewers, this rationalization of what we've seen over the last few days flies in the face of hard facts. And on this show, I always present to you the hard facts so that you get closer to the truth. You can cut through the propaganda. You can cut through all the other nebulous statements that you are inundated with every day to perhaps mislead you. First, viewers, the Hamas may have a problem with the Israeli state, but does that give it the right to target innocent Israeli citizens? Will Indian leftists justify the cold-blooded murder of non-combatants? Here are some hard facts, viewers. Can all of these be overlooked? The Hamas has targeted civilians with whom they have no quibble. And when that happens, viewers, that is defined in any book as an excess, in some books as terror. Let's focus on the hard facts. In Kibbutz Reim, Israeli music festival is targeted. The attack came ahead of the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, and 260 are killed in rocket attacks and gunfire. Innocent Israelis, viewers, nothing to do with any of the repression, any of the oppression, any of the crimes that are being attributed allegedly to the Israeli state. Noah, a woman and her boyfriend are abducted and sent to Gaza. They were only attending a music festival. God knows what has happened to these two individuals. They could be used as cannon fodder. They could be murdered. They could be, viewers, exchanged for hardcore terrorists. We don't know. We don't even know how they are being treated, even if they're alive. In Kibbutz Be'eri, an Israeli child is killed in front of his siblings. What has this young child got to do with the oppression of ordinary Palestinians? Parents were crying, family filmed by terrorists, their grief peddled in an undignified, dehumanizing manner. Who does that, viewers? Only terrorists do that. Hamas shoots a paramedic who waited for medical aid. Cold-blooded murder. These are war crimes. Gaza, naked woman's body is paraded by Hamas in a pickup truck. The family identifies her as Shani Lok, a German citizen. She just happened to be there at the wrong time, viewers. If you saw those visuals, you would not be able to sleep. We've sensitized them. Shijaya. In Shijaya, woman tortured and abducted by Hamas fighters in daylight. You can see that photograph. God knows what has happened to her. Who does that, viewers? Who does that? Viewers, now consider the Hamas charter. This is what its preamble and charter declares. In 1988, the Hamas charter was drafted. Look at what the preface says. I read it out to you. Israel will exist and continue to exist until Islam will obliterate it, just as it obliterated others before it. Viewers, this is not a charter for trying to fight for some azadi. It is a charter of bigotry. What does this line mean? That the Hamas will obliterate, will finish. Islam will obliterate the Jewish state, finish all Jews. This is genocide, viewers. This is not a fight for self-determination. This is what the Mehbooba Muftis in this country are rationalizing. Article 7. The day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews. Then the Jew will hide behind the stones and trees. The stones and trees will say, "O Muslims, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him," unquote. Article 13, viewers, let me bring that out. And these are articles of the ruling establishment in Gaza, the mission statement. They reject, viewers, any attempt at bilateral negotiations, diplomatic negotiations. Article 13 says initiatives and so-called peaceful solutions and international conferences are in contradiction to the principles of the Islamic resistance movement. There is no solution to the Palestinian question except by jihad, holy war, viewers. Article 28. This is what it says. Israel, Judaism and Jews challenge Islam and the Muslim people. May the cowards never sleep. There are millions of Jews that don't live in the state of Israel. You might have a quibble with the government in Israel, but can you have a quibble with British Jews, with Indian Jews, with American Jews? Should all of them never sleep? What kind of doctrine is this? As is clear, the Hamas charter that outlines the organization's goals is a shocking document that drips with a vengeful xenophobia, viewers. If the conflict was merely a battle for Azadi, why would that freedom have to come at the cost of the total annihilation of the Jewish race? Why would Taliban fighters want Iran and Syria to open their borders so that the Afghan Mujahideen can fight someone else's war? It isn't as if US-based Christian supremacists are calling upon the European Union to open all its land borders so that they can get a clear passage, a free pass all the way over to Nagorno-Karabakh to fight with Armenian Christians against Azeri Muslims. Make no mistake, Hamas is fighting a 21st century version of the medieval crusades, and what's scary is that it has been voted to govern Gaza by ordinary so-called peace-loving Palestinians that some Indians here in this country mistakenly praise as martyrs for the cause. Viewers, there are no parallels between the Israeli constitution and the Hamas constitution. Nowhere in the Israeli constitution is it written that the Israeli state exists to annihilate Muslims all over. Today, those that lecture Tel Aviv must ask themselves, what would truly happen if Israel were to suddenly open the Gaza border and allow the free passage of Palestinians into Jewish neighborhoods? Can these human rights lobbies, can all these politicians in our country, can the entire ecosystem of the left guarantee that Israelis won't be exterminated by many of their Palestinian neighbors because they have voted in this charter of deranged xenophobia? Viewers, think about it. Some of those people have voted in what? A mindset that Muslims must fight Jews and kill them. Doesn't this hateful Hamas mission statement expose the diabolism of tagging Israel as the sole oppressor? For anyone still in doubt about who is the victim here and who is the oppressor, let me quickly sum up the hard facts again for you. Islamists targeted innocent Israeli citizens in cold blood and not just military targets. Hamas targeted attacks on innocent civilians violate international law. Hamas charter is a xenophobic document that calls on all Muslims to kill all Jews, and it is in the name of this charter that they govern Gaza. Hamas rejects any lawful solution other than that which can be arrived at by jihad. These are the charter's words. These are the Hamas's words. A majority of Palestinians voted for Hamas despite its anti-Semitism. What does that say about these Palestinians? Palestinian voters who back Hamas endorse genocide. Viewers, that's what it says.